Yeah, I guess the difficulty in taking effectively 6 halves is that it limits the coverage you have elsewhere, and I think I said last week that there is a degree of risk no matter what you do, and we just feel that it's something that we can manage with the cover that we have got, and we feel that we've got some super resources here, as disappointed as they are in Isaac Boss and Kieran Marmion, that if we do strike trouble, despite the 48-hour rule, we can get a replacement in pretty quickly.
Joe, obviously some big calls to the exclusion of Andrew Trimble.
Yeah, look, if it wasn't a big call being Andrew Trimble, it would have been a big call being somebody else in the back three. I know that had probably been the most discussed position. I think we spent 6 hours on Sunday, and for some of those hours, Andrew Trimble was coming to the World Cup with us, and some of them he wasn't. That's how tight it was. And I think the difficulty was that Andrew had played 34 minutes of a test match. He'd played 80 minutes for Ulster, but in between that, he'd hurt the foot again, and it just interrupted his opportunity to best press for selection, and time ran out for him. Certainly, ability, commitment, and what he's contributed when he has played for us, all certainly counted for him, and that's why it was one of the very, very difficult decisions we made.
What was your thinking behind the problem situation with the 3 tight-headed specialists, and then Julie says, will we see Tyke Furlong for the ball?
Yeah, he's been doing some good work at loosehead in training. He's played loosehead when he was younger, although that can't have been too long ago because he's still very young. But he's really impressed us. I think, again, apart from taking 6 specialist props, there's not too many ways around that, other than Michael Bent is probably very unlucky to miss out. I think he acquitted himself really well in the environment. His work ethic is first rate, and he was very close. And in this, I suppose, 6-hour process, his name was on the sheet and off it a number of times, and we tried to make that as robust as possible, and tried to even then reflect and go back over what we'd done, and we feel that we have got sufficient balance with 2 absolute specialist tight heads and 2 specialist loose heads, and Tig, who is a specialist tight head but has covered loose head in the past and has trained there effectively enough to convince us that he could scrum there. I mean, I thought he did really well in the weekend against a player who's very difficult to scrum against, a player who angles and takes the scrum down, and I thought Ty kept him up as best he could, and kept him out as best he could, and I think from that perspective it was a fairly tough baptism to Test match rugby.
Joe, Darren Cave is a guy who himself said he maybe felt on the outside at times maybe a year ago, but he's really had a transformation and pushed himself right in there. How has his journey been?
Yeah, I think again with the midfield situation that we have, we feel like we've got enough cover, but it's a little bit of a manufactured midfield. I think Robbie hadn't played 12 until he came into this environment. Jared had played more fullback than 13, and Robbie had played more fullback than 13, probably in recent years. So that's a little bit manufactured for us. We wanted to get one specialist midfielder in there who could play 12 or 13. His flexibility and positivity in the environment are real pluses for us. We've had the opportunity to give Keith Earls some game time at 13 and Luke Fitzgerald some game time at 13. So we feel that amongst those 5 plus Ian Madigan who can move in there, but once we decided, I know this might sound complicated, it seemed complicated on Sunday, having Ian cover 9 and 10 as the third 9, to expect him to cover 12 and as well is a little bit more of an expectation, and therefore we wanted to again go with the specialist 12 and 13. And Darren's performances, both at training and in the match against Wales in the Millennium, meant that he was pretty deserving player to be involved.
You're obviously happy with Cian Healy's progress as well. Will he take the time against England?
He's cleared to play. He's fit to play. I think that's just probably the only problem with that would be is he ready to fit in and play? He's been working a lot individually. He's been in and out of team sessions, but quite often not doing the whole session, doing different bits and pieces of it. So, he's acquitted himself well on these first 2 days, and we sort of thought we'd have a look at how that went, and then kind of confirm a decision on Thursday around Cian.
Last question there, I'm guessing yourself at all since no phone calls are made, or is it very important that now you've got a 31 that you're just focusing on what's coming down the track, so everything to this point is now behind you?
Yeah, I think we got the second guessing out of our system in the 6 hours that we spent arriving at the decisions. I'd be personally of a belief that once you've made a decision, once you've taken a course of action, you're fully committed to that being the correct course of action. And if you have self-doubt, and I do about so many things, that it's important you kind of conquer that with what's ahead of you and trying to plan to be as effective as you possibly can, and helping a group prepare to meet what challenges are in front of them.